Page 133, Lavender's Blue. This is the beginning of Unit 11, moving right along. On page 132, they're talking about intervals, and I'm not quite sure what's going on there because we've already had intervals. I've already introduced you to them. Hopefully you know all about intervals. You know how to figure them out, and you can recognize the ones we've used so far in the music. So I don't have anything really to say. They say an interval of a sixth. Well, it's just one more than a fifth. Here, start on C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just next one up. It's no big deal. It doesn't fit in a five-finger position very well because that only goes to a fifth. But different ways of doing it, and it just depends on the music on how you finger it. I would like to talk just briefly about this stuff at the top of page 133. Because you're going from a fifth to a sixth, and this pattern is quite common, and there's different ways of fingering this, is what I'm getting at. They're showing first in the left hand, the bass clef, just 1-5 or 5-1 on each one, with the thumbs doing both. That's okay for now, but later on we'll talk about this more. In the right hand, again, it's 1-5. You're just reaching out more. Again, there's different ways of fingering this. We'll go with this for now. This is a good introduction. So, Lavender's Blue, 3/4 time. Let's do the right hand first. You're starting out in this position, C, and you got eighth notes, 1 and 2 and, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1. Now you play them both, 3, and that's 2 and 3 and, 2 and 3 and. So again, the second measure is 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now you reach up. You're not changing hand positions. You're just reaching up. Just the thumb stays where it is, and let the rest of the fingers go up. And then the second line is similar to the first, and the last line there is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and. There, and then the last two measures, C and an E together. Just lower the whole hand down and try and get them down at the same time. Left hand has the chord, the C chord, and the third measure over, the F chord, and then the next measure is F chord again, but it's a broken chord, and then C, and then the second line, third measure. Now you're here on the sixth, or fifth, and then that's fine. Put the hands together. Got 4 notes at the same time here. Then 5 notes. Get the idea? Second line, third measure. This is a little tricky here. Watch out. It's here. Just take them one at a time. Forget rhythm and all that. Just here. This is the first one. And then the next one. See? And then the next one. And then the next measure, so just practice that until you can get it. If you have to look at the keyboard, that's fine, because we're new at this, so you can look at the keyboard for now. Later on, when you've done this a few hundred times, then you'll be able to play it without looking, but here, that's okay. So the second line, last measure here, and lift up the left hand before you do the eighth notes here, lift up. So there's a little silence in the left hand there. Then the last line, you're here, and lift up the left hand before you play the right hand, so there's a little silence there, so it's like taking a breath here. And again, lift up. And then they're all together. Like so. Now, on these slurs, lift up before the slur, but connect the slur to the next note. So I disagree with the way they're slurring, because like in the first line, then the second measure, you can lift up before the F is fine, but don't lift up after it. Just connect it. The slur really ought to go to the next note. It should be connected to it. Look at the last line. Here, connect it to the next note. Don't lift up, don't separate those. That's very unmusical to do that. Connect it. Connect all of that together. Now they show pedal for the last two measures. I don't understand why. There's no need for pedal. You didn't use pedal anywhere else. There's no need to change this at the end. Otherwise, other than maybe they just want to connect these chords. And the only way you can connect repeated chords like that is to use the pedal. But I'm going to leave the pedal out. If you want to use pedal, go ahead. Push the pedal down right after you play the note. And leave the pedal down until the end, and then the pedal and the hands all come up at the same time is all that is. How fast you go is up to you. This is a happy piece, but we're not happy right now. We're still working on it. So you go slow and gradually speed it up over time. I've already told you about lifting up, and each of these slurs lift up. Before and after each slur in this piece, just lift up. I believe I've mentioned before in a video here that slurs, it used to be the normal way of interpreting slurs where you could put just a little bit of an accent on the first note of a slur. You felt the accent, you didn't force it. So it's like here in the second measure in the right hand, it's here. It's the first eighth note, you'd feel that just a little more. Ba-da-da-da. So, and you can try that in this piece. On all these slurs, just that first note in that slur, just give it a little extra oomph. So, ba-da-da-da. In the second line, in the last measure, it's in the left hand. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da. In the last line, here. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da. I'm exaggerating it, but the idea is there. It's a felt thing. You just feel it. They don't give you any dynamics to speak of. Medium loud, sort of loud. That's the melody. That's the right hand. Keep the left hand soft. We want to hear the melody. In the last line, you have that arrow to decrescendo down to a soft. You see that in the last two measures, a P for soft. Take your time. There's not loud. You have medium loud down to soft. I would suggest maybe for the first measure of the last line, you stay pretty close to medium loud. Here, second measure, you go down to about a medium soft. And then you go down to soft. Don't get soft until that third measure. So, and then you stay soft. And there is no real melody on the end. I mean, the song is over at the end of the second line. So you can play all at the end, the last two measures of all these notes, play them all about the same. And there's a retardando there where you're going to gradually slow down. So it's 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, and then the fermata, you just hang on to the note for a little longer. You have to feel how long. There's no set length. In the play with me, I'm going to use a metronome, and when I do that, I just double the value. So instead of 3 beats, I'm going to hold it for 6 beats, and that'll be it. Speed, again, sort of fast. You get the idea? But you have to work it up there, because it has to be controlled, and those eighth notes have to be even. So you have your moderately fast, I have my moderately fast, everybody's a little different. So work it up gradually until you're comfortable with it. And the idea here is to learn it well enough that you're not thinking about fingering the notes and all of that. You're actually listening to the music. Get into the music. That's where the magic happens. But you got to get to know it first. Now you see up at the title there under Lavender's Blue, they give you a C position +1. That's just mean you're stretching out one note somewhere. It could be above or below or something, but it's C position. I'm going to give us 3 counts. Let's play this together. Now keep in mind there is a repeat sign at the end of the second line, so we're going to repeat back and play the first two lines twice, actually, what it means. 1, ready, go. Repeat. 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, off.